Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Diablo 3. And last time we made our way from Act 3 to Act 4. However, town is still the same. Yes, even though we've ascended to heaven, town is still the same. It's on the mortal plane, it's Bastion's Keep, nothing's changed. However, now we no longer have access to any of the areas in Act 3, we only have access to the areas in Heaven and Act 4. And that's, again, one of the failings of this game. If you played Diablo 2, you know that you had the option of going through all 5 of the acts with the expansion, and you could travel between each of them in turn without any problem, all in the same game. Now, if we want to go back to Act 1, we have to quit this game, change our quest, and go back to Act 1, and then we can only do Act 1. It's really unfortunate the way they organized this. Diablo 2 had a much cleaner, much simpler, much more logical implementation of this waypoint system and of the act system. You could do basically whatever you wanted. And I have a feeling that the reason they ended up having to do this was because of, memory limitations or whatever they felt the need to do. Anyway, what am I doing here? Converge. I was supposed to upgrade something. Yes, right. I finally got a rune for magic weapon, and this one has some lightning damage to it, which will be very beneficial once I finally get to level 37 and can use my stun. However, that's not going to be for a little while, and based on the amount of time I have left in this game, or in normal anyway, I probably won't get to it while playing normal for this Let's Play anyway. Now, last time we got all the way to the Gardens of Hope level 2, and it looked just like this. However, I hit this, and I got exactly what I wanted. The area that the Hell Rift.
Knowledge of the future.
Go away. And unfortunately, I was at the edge of, I was over the time I wanted to spend on that episode. That one episode was a little too long as is. Don't need that, that's useless. Now, there are two different maps, two basic maps anyway, two basic configurations for the map in this area, the Gardens of Hope level 2.
Good. I astound myself.
Would you shut up already? This is probably the easier of the two. The other one is much longer. This one is actually relatively short. You wanted to head down here at the start. I'm gonna, again, yeah, you can, where's another example of that? Yeah, you talk to the Impaled Angel. Okay, maybe not. Where the hell is one of those guys? We got these guys all over the place, unfortunately. And let's slaughter them. Where was one of those tortured angels already? Oh, bloody hell, I lost them. Now, you definitely want to head down there. I'll show you when we get to another one. Unfortunately, that won't be for a little while, but yeah. There's one up here, one around here, one on this side. Make sure you remember to get that. And these enemies are starting to do a lot more damage at this point. So beware of that. There's going to be one down here and one on this side. So make sure you grab them all. Because you're going to need to get them all. Well, you don't have to get them all, but you have to get enough to find the Hell Rift. And if you don't find the Hell Rift, then you're in trouble because that's the only way to proceed. Yeah. Okay, so that's... Oh, I found it. Look at that.
You are too late, just as you always.
The demons come from Diablo's realm of terror in the burning hells. The gateway must
I
be
got
shut.
another Archangel thingamajigger. Yay! And we have more, pretty much a lot of, well, not a lot of the enemies, but a bunch of the enemies from Act 3 make new appearances or reappearances here in Act 4. There's a shrine down there. Let's go get that shrine. Experience! That can't hurt. It's actually a bit of an issue as you go on in the game. The more you level, of course, the longer it takes for you to level again. and it actually gets to be time-consuming at one point. You know, your basic
spirit
level
is free now,
isn't the
Angel.
problem. It's the Nephilim levels, or whatever they're called, after the fact, and I'll go into that once we beat
If
the
you
main
destroy
part of the
the
game.
Oculus, my hell rift will consume you.
No, it won't.
The Hell Rifts are closed. You have far exceeded my expectations, Nephilim.
That's what happens when you have no expectations of me.
Quickly, you must make your way to the Silver Spire.
The Silver Spire. And of course we can get
The hell
back.
rifts are closed, but it is of no matter. Soon there will be nothing left of these high heavens. All creation will be the realm of terror.
Now, in Act 4, there are, I believe, only 2 side dungeons. Or maybe it's not 2. I think that you can only find 2 in each playthrough. I'm just going to keep killing off all of these to show you where they are if you don't happen to have them. Oh, I freed another one. There's angels laying around here that you can free. I keep trying to show it off, and I keep freeing them before I actually show them off. Which is kind of unfortunate, but yeah, you can free imprisoned angels around here. And as you can see, there are a whole bunch of these guys around here. There's that one there, this one here, and there's some up here as well. Oh, geez, lots of enemies. And again, I still don't need those potions. There's one more up here. Yeah, so there's another one up there. My Hydra can deal with that. That's no big deal. And down here, we got some more. And, ooh, attack speed. That's beneficial, I guess. Especially considering how slow my attack is. You can take care of that one. And there should be one more down here. Yeah, there we go. Which you could have gotten to from here, but I felt like going the other way. Those guys. Oh, I haven't even talked about those guys. Those are terror demons. I killed one. He just kind of spawned out of nowhere. They're called terror demons, and they are horrible. They do a lot of damage, and they literally just appear out of nowhere. They are incredibly hard to deal with, especially if you are a character that doesn't have a lot of defense or a good way of dealing with it. This guy will always be here. He's nothing too special to deal with. And if we go up here, we meet... Oh, look at that. Haven't seen you in a while. Not since the start of the act, actually.
Angels themselves could be turned by Diablo's evil if it is not vanquished soon. That would be a dread fate indeed. Tyrael!
Yes, my friend. I am ready to again fight by your side. I was wrong to give in to despair. You have shown me there is still a chance for victory.
But we must hurry. Even now, Diablo makes his way to the Silver Spire.
I finally understand. Your kind faces death and darkness every day, yet still you find the courage to move forward. It is an honor to be one of you.
I knew you would understand with time.
And time
Oh dear.
is pretty much what
He
that
has
is.
returned. Who? You will see.
You seem to know exactly what's going on. However, you won't tell me anything. Not a very good, you know, enchantress, seeing the future and all that jazz. Oh, that's who's returned.
Your kind does not belong here. If I see you again, you will die.
So now the people I'm saving want to kill me. That's just great. And oddly typical.
Pay him no mind. This is your fight, Nephilim. Your power is even greater than Tyrael foresaw.
One can only hope. But now, we must stop Diablo before he reaches the crystal arch above us.
Okay, so now there will be some dudes spawning here. You don't have to kill them, you can just run straight past them if you decide. I'm gonna head to the Silver Spire now.
Diablo will corrupt the crystal arch atop the Silver Spire, unless he is stopped. Should he succeed, heaven will fall. Everything has led to this moment. Tyrael and I will fight our way to the summit, where I will finally face Diablo.
These are getting shorter and shorter, aren't they? Oh well.
The corruption is thicker here.
Well, you think there would be less corruption as you move on because it would take them longer to get there. Here we have annoying enemies. You can bypass, there are 4 of these, I believe. I think there's 4. And you can bypass all of them. None of them are required. However, and they're actually not recommended because they spawn enemies, but they do give some dialogue, so I'll show them
How
off.
does it feel, knowing you helped me become the prime evil? For all your mighty deeds, all you really accomplished was unleashing me upon the world. Some savior you are, Nephilim.
Leah, no!
The reason why you don't want to do this is a rare terror demon. And yeah, aspect of terror. He is very powerful, and because he's disappearing and reappearing right on top of me, he does a lot of damage even to me. And they don't necessarily drop a lot of good items. He also spawns other terror demons. Or at least he can. So yeah, I highly recommend not talking to any of these aspects after you get their story, which I plan on showing for you in the videos, so.
Diablo is climbing the spire to the Crystal Arch. We must hurry.
Ah, Magda.
I lived only to serve my master Belial. But you killed him and unleashed the prime evil on the world.
An illusion!
You think. This one spawns one of these guys, which is basically a poison enemy, which I'm not worried about. Again, she's just like the other ones. Not particularly, there's nothing really special about dealing with them. Now here we have these guys, these mages. They can summon meteor on your ass, and it hurts a lot. So I highly recommend avoiding them, if at all possible, which of course isn't possible considering
This is
they're
going
everywhere.
poorly!
It's not going poorly. You're getting attacked and I'm not. How is that going poorly? You can't deal any damage anyway. In this area, there are a lot of branching paths. Well, not specifically this area, but the area in the Silver Spire, and obviously since we're in level 1, there is a level 2 as well. And they're relatively confusing, and holy crap, lots of enemies. Now, that meteor is something that the special, the champions can use too. Think about what would happen if there was 3 champions that had multi, which is a passive buff that just, allows them to do, I think it's 3 instances or just a lot more instances of whatever spells or effects they have. Think about that and meteor. Say it's only 3 in this case. 3 champions and using meteor, and each of them having their meteors multiplied by 3. How would you like having 9 meteors dropped on your head? Be like Final Fantasy V all over again. Or Final Fantasy IV too. Whatever. Now, as you can see, this path led up here, and this one's going up there, so I would assume that this is a dead end, but I could be wrong. You know you're going the right way in this area when you find a nice, long, straight path to take. But that's not always the case. Sometimes the exit will be in an area like this and just head straight over to the left. In this case, it's a dead end. But there's a lot of different variations in the Silver Spire areas. So, yeah, here's a tormented
Your spirits
angel.
are no longer held by Diablo's corruption.
And now we can, we don't get anything for helping them, but maybe we get some experience. I don't know. It's negligible if we do. I don't even think there's any special bonus for getting them all in
Didn't
terms
see
of
that
achievements
coming,
or
did you?
experience or something like that. A lot of the times if you've gone through a large area, yeah, there's a terror demon right there. Let my Hydra take care of him. If we've already gone through a relatively large area and we find one of these long passageways where there's 2 of them side by side, it is very, very likely that that's going to lead to the right way. And in this case, I am not exactly told wrong right off the bat. It's like, oh, it seems to have happened almost every time I've said that in this Let's Play. You know, oh, as soon as if you go this way, it's almost always the right way. I go down this way for another 3 seconds. Oh, it's the wrong way. It's really helpful, game. You're not helping me illustrate a point very well. These areas aren't super long, but they are long.
In the gardens, so much more complete. Diablo knows the spire is the heart of the high heavens.
Okay, here we arrive at the Great Span, which is falling apart.
Wait, there is something different here.
I sense a presence. One I've not felt since... Yeah, pretty much in this case.
Look, Tyrael, your old lieutenant.
A lieutenant, huh? Who is that?
It seems we've both fallen from grace, Tyrael. Come, embrace your former lieutenant.
This is Izuel, or Izzy for short. He is probably the most annoying boss in the entire game. And there is reason for that. One, he spams cold like a bitch, and it's annoying. The other thing that's annoying is if you do enough damage to him, he also has some normal attacks and stuff as well. Not only are these things faster to freeze you than the normal ones, he summons guys to fight with him. And he has this attack, which basically, it doesn't encompass the entire screen, but it freezes you for a long time, and then he can plant his really fast-acting other freezing things, and he can basically lock you in place. I have spent, you know, 3 or 4 minutes in this boss fight, locked in the same couple of locations, unable to hit him, and continually taking damage. So this is why he's the most annoying boss in the game. He almost killed my hardcore character numerous times on my way to level 60, and it was not a lot of fun. The thing about him, though, yeah, he's got that stunning attack, that stunning attack. However, that's not helping. If you're, you know, paying enough attention, you can outrun him for the most part. And having a skill like freezing armor, even with a skill I don't have on ice armor, if you have crystallize, it will freeze him in place. Actually, no, this one raises armor, but anyway, yeah. So, you know, the armor, I think itself can it freezes them in place for 2 seconds, which is very beneficial for this fight. For this fight, if you're using a wizard, you almost want to go right up next to him, have him freeze, and then attack him. He'll do that massive freeze thing a couple of times. He'll summon more enemies, and he's really annoying to deal with. So let's just finish him off.
And see the ruin of heaven.
And that, of course, unlocks this area, and we may proceed. A bunch of enemies will drop down here, none of them particularly interesting, just stuff we've seen before. We have one of those guys, one of these guys, one of those guys, and they all die. Pretty much all as fast, too. Pretty full on items at this point. Did I level up? Not enough. Anyway, here we are at the Silver Spire, level 2.
Though I forsook my home, to see it again like this, any joy I might have had is replaced with sorrow. Upwards, we must make it to the summit. It is not far now. I only hope we are not too late. I can feel Diablo's corruption closing around the light of heaven.
Are you done talking, Tyrael? Thank
You
you.
think yourself a hero, but your actions are driven by petty greed, contempt, and bloodlust. You couldn't even save me.
And this one will bring up another annoying guy, which dies as fast as all the others. However, he's basically as strong as all the other big, scary enemies in this area, except these guys. Remember these guys from earlier on? This one's not quite as powerful, but now we can encounter champion groups of these guys. And if they have, say, a speed boost as one of their random, you know, multipliers, which they get a lot more of them in other difficulties, and again, we'll talk about that later. We've got some of these guys that are casting spells. I don't think there's any benefit to killing them all, but they're here, and for the most part, I tend to ignore them.
I am free.
Yeah, we saved some. Oh, I think this might actually be the right way.
If only they could see me now.
Though I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Let's see. Hey, look at that, it is the right way. Told you, usually when you find a nice long path, you'll find the right way eventually.
I am bleeding!
Are you now? Now, there are plenty of other things I could show off. I've pretty much gone through the majority of the normal areas in the game, and there is more to show off. And I won't be doing it prior to post-game content. I'm just going to call it that.
Nephilim, I see you did not heed my warning.
No, I plan on
Or
killing
perhaps
you.
you think yourself strong enough to face me.
Let's find out, shall we?
Imperius, stop this madness. Diablo is the enemy here, not the Nephilim.
Tyrael, I will deal with you soon enough. I will... What is this? No! Diablo has reached the arch!
No. Diablo has begun extinguishing the Crystal Arch. That's why the angels have fallen. If its light should go out forever, we must defeat Diablo before that happens.
It's down to us mortals, Tyrael. It is fortunate you gave up your wings.
Diablo's vile corruption bars our path. Stand back. Eldruin's light shall clear the way.
Now, the joke I made last time about his sword was in bad taste, but it just, I don't know, the fact that it opens gates or borders just is amusing to me.
The gate has been opened, Nephilim. This last trial is yours alone.
I couldn't have made it this far without
Wasn't he
you,
just
Tyrael.
saying that we should all
It was
do
an
as
honor.
much as possible to get
This
by
is
this,
the
and now
moment
he's
you
gonna
were
wait
made
here?
for. This is the hour of mankind's victory.
Yes. Anyway, we could take on Diablo today, but I don't want to, because that's all that's left. All that's left is Diablo. And for what it's worth, it's a pretty epic confrontation. But, however, it's very similar to the previous two fights, against Belial and against Asmodon. It's really more about the battle mechanics and the interesting boss mechanics than it is about having a really memorable evil villain. I don't know, like the graphics in this game are great, but they can't do everything themselves. So there's other things involved that, probably would have made the game better if they had been worked on a little more. But anyway, that's all the time for this episode of Let's Play Diablo 3. Next time we'll have the finale of the story part, and I'll be doing some post-game content, which in this case, since you're actually, kind of the point of the game is to play beyond normal difficulty, I'll show off bits and pieces of what we actually get from, in terms of benefits and in terms of gameplay, what we get when we go past normal difficulty. Anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.